our deputies responded to an incident in one of our circuit courtrooms. The incident was one of those spontaneous incidents that sometimes you find yourself saying, I never thought this would happen while I was on duty. But the good news here is that the deputies that were in the courtroom that day had a pre-practiced plan of response. They had trained prior to this incident to ready themselves to be ready for a dynamic situation in which doesn't happen every day, but when it does happen, you have to have the ability to respond efficiently and appropriately.
On December 8th, 2009, it was our assignment to escort an inmate to his circuit court appearance on 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide.
There were several things that brought concerns to us that day. One being that the situation involved the shooting of an off-duty police officer. It involved a double fatality of homicide. It also involved an affiliate motorcycle gang that was possibly going to be present inside of the courtroom. And due to the fact that there was the large quantity of media that was going to be present, we had a high level of awareness of just having the right amount of people on board. One of my first interactions with him was the fact that I noticed it's a very big inmate. He was very well defined. He seemed to be very muscular in nature. And after we had put the restraints on him and I went hands-on to escort him up to the courtroom, the first thing that came to my mind was the level of tension I could feel in his body as he was being escorted up to the courtroom.
Upon escorting the inmate in, I could feel resistive tension in his arms. They were all tensed up. He was very nervous. As the hearing started, his legs started to bounce up and down. I started to see some warning signs that, through my training experience, I realized could lead to something going wrong during the court hearing. As his leg continued to bounce around, slowly but surely, I could hear the chain. He had leg restraints on, which a chain attaches the 2 restraints. He was bouncing the leg so quickly and fast that you could hear the rattle throughout the court.
As the court proceedings went on, I was able to visually see something that was very concerning to me, and that was the inmate's leg. As he sat at the table at the beginning of the hearing, his leg started to move just slowly at first. And by the end of the hearing, his leg was moving up and down, bouncing almost uncontrollably to the point where I could see his upper torso even moving as that leg became bouncing quicker and quicker. And with that being now seen, the judge announcing his level of bond, and the court was now in recess, that's when it all happened. I have to say, as a chief deputy, I'm extremely proud of the men and women of our department and how they responded to this incident. They responded without hesitation. They responded in a professional manner that the level of force used was appropriate for what they were dealing with in regards to the inmate's level of aggressiveness, his assaultive behavior. The speed in which the inmate was stabilized on the table and then was removed from the courtroom and taken back into the secure hallway, and the level of professionalism and control tactics that continued on throughout that process. As an administrator, I stand back and I look at the whole picture here, and I understand the importance of why we need to have that continuous and ongoing training. So with that being said, I can't say enough on the importance that we just continue to have that philosophy to be ready for a situation, to be prepared. Coach Bear Bryant once said, "The will to win compares little with the will to prepare to win." And I see that being a huge factor here in not the success of how this situation took place, but the end result, that it was done professionally, it was done in a controlled manner, and that everybody involved, including the inmate and the staff, left the end result uninjured because of their level of preparation.